Welcome back to Women in Business. We're chatting to Celynn Erasmus. Celynn is a professional speaker and dietitian. Well, Celynn, you'll be showing us how to make a smoothie in 2 minutes. But firstly, why a smoothie?
Well, smoothies are really a great meal on the run, and a lot of us don't have time. We wake up in the morning and there's the morning madness, getting the kids ready, feeding the dogs, rushing out to make it through the traffic. Whereas a smoothie really should only take you about 2 minutes to prepare. What's nice about a smoothie is that it's a fruit-based meal, and all you need is a blender. A lot of us have got a blender, but it's in the box, in the cupboard, behind the Tupperware. Ideally, it needs to be on your counter so that at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning when you're rushing out, you actually think about it. And it's really simple and easy. And in South Africa, we always have so much fruit available. And let me show you how easy it is to make a smoothie. That means you need to wake up at 5:28 instead of 5:30. What's nice too is that a smoothie, you can share it amongst the family. Kids enjoy it because it's a bit like a health milkshake for them. And what I often do is, because I'm not that hungry when I wake up, I make a smoothie and I pour it into a water bottle, and then I take it with me in the car. So while I'm going through traffic on my way to my first meeting, I can sip on my berry smoothie feeling quite good. And everybody else is doing the white knuckle thing through traffic, already stressed, and all they've had is a cup of coffee maybe to keep them going.
So what are the benefits to the body?
Well, the benefit is that it's fruit-based. So, of course, fruits give you vitamins and minerals and fiber. It's also, if you balance it, so if you add a little bit of protein, a little bit of fat, you can actually create a balanced meal. So you won't be hungry for several hours afterwards. And having breakfast is really important. So I find if you have breakfast, at least for the next couple of hours, you can concentrate better, you have better energy, and you're less inclined to go grab a cup of coffee and a handful of biscuits or a Danish or a pie or a packet of chips at like 11 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Okay, so shall we begin?
Great.
Okay.
Well, what we're going to do is start off with fruit that most of us have at home, which is bananas and apples. So there we go. Let's each grab a banana.
So what are bananas good for?
Well, bananas are high in potassium, which is really good for your blood pressure, and they're filling. They also make a smoothie quite creamy. So they're quite nice to add. There we go.
You can actually put off bananas. I don't eat bananas anymore. I should try them.
If you don't enjoy fruit, a smoothie is a nice way to actually get the benefit of eating the fruit without actually eating it. Then we've got some apples.
Good old apple, huh?
Now remember, this is 6 o'clock in the morning and you're in a rush, so you don't need to peel. You're not making a fruit salad. If you've got a good blender, you can literally throw it in just like that. I don't even take out the seeds. Okay. Nobody knows it's there except you, and it creates extra fiber. True. There we go. Then I'm going to add, this is a lovely ingredient to have. It's frozen berries. Keep these in your freezer, and then you just put in a handful into your smoothie. Berries are powerful foods. They are high in antioxidants, which the ladies love because it helps with the
wrinkles.
Good
for the ladies.
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah.
So instead of spending lots of money on eye cream, try and eat berries every day. And we're just going to put in about a handful or so.
And drinking berry juice, does that make any difference?
Much better to eat the real stuff. So actually eat the fruit than the juice, because the juice is very concentrated and quite high in sugar. Oh, right. So you lose a lot of the benefits. Then some vanilla yogurt, because vanilla goes with almost any fruit. So
and how about plain yogurt? Have you ever tried it?
Plain yogurt works very, very well too, yes. And then we're going to top that up with some fluid. Now, I like my smoothies quite thick, so I don't put in too much fluid. But you can actually decide. The more you practice, you'll realize after a couple of smoothies exactly how you like yours done.
So you've put a lot of dairy in there. What about people who are lactose intolerant? How do they get around that?
Great question. You can use any dairy alternatives. You can use a soya-based milk or rice milk, or you could use water, lots of ice, or a little bit of fruit juice. But once again, because fruit juice is concentrated, try not to use too much.
Oh, right, okay.
And ideally, 2 tennis ball-sized pieces of fruit per person. So here I'm making a little bit extra because we use 2 bananas, 1 apple, and some berries. So this should be enough for 2 people. Do you see how easy that was?
Very easy.
Right. There we go. Shall we try
5 minutes
some?
of your time? Yeah, sure.
See, now I've made this quite thick because I enjoy it that way. Would you like to try that? And be honest. Tell us if you could start your day with a berry smoothie like this.
It's lovely, and you can't even taste the banana.
There we go. There we go. So cheers to our health.
Yeah, indeed. So, Celynn, why is good health and wellness especially pertinent for women in business?
Well, being a woman myself, I realize just how many different roles we all play. I think as women, we sisters and mothers and friends and wives and lovers and employers and employees. So it's really challenging. And I think it's so important because if we look often women, when we look at them, they look after everybody else around them, and then we put ourselves last. So instead, if you actually look after yourself, you have more energy not only for your business, but also for your family, for your friends, for your children, to be actually able to fulfill all those different roles. You know, it requires a lot of energy, so we need to fuel ourselves correctly.
So you've been married for about 10 years. How have you been able to strike a balance all these years?
Yeah, it's been important for me because I married somebody who loves to eat and loves to share a bottle of wine and chocolates. So we're just very balanced, you know. We live absolutely normal lives. People often ask, especially if they ask my husband what his wife does and he says she's a dietitian, they think, oh, shame, he must eat salads all the time. And it's not like that at all. So we're very balanced. I think we just understand how, you know, you can have a weekend where you enjoy yourself, then you just take a couple of days in the week where you eat a little bit more healthier, you're more aware of what you do, and then you're still able to feel good, have a lot of energy, manage weight, and have good health.
Can you explain energy management as an approach to promoting wellness?
Well, I find if we look at time, time is a very finite resource. Each of us only has access to the same amount of time, which is 24 hours a day. We don't have more. But if we look at our energy levels, each of us has the ability to renew our energy. So instead of trying to manage time, I encourage people to rather manage your energy levels, renew your energy in such a way that you can actually get more done in less time. Because if you channel your energy in the correct way, you can be more productive, you can engage better, you can think clearer, you can get more done.
With so many different cultures in South Africa, one might wonder if this is a viable industry. Are South Africans interested in playing the going for nutritional advice?
I would say absolutely. I think more and more individuals as well as organizations, so businesses are realizing the impact that nutrition and wellness has in terms of their staff. And of course, it's exciting to see that there are leading organizations that we know of that encourage health incentives, that try to develop a culture of wellness within their staff. So yes, there's absolutely lots and lots of opportunity.
And then another issue is that South Africans are heading towards the West, taking the Western culture. We're beginning to see people struggling with obesity, heart disease, and so on. What can we do? What do you think is causing this behavior?
Sure, that is so true. Actually in South Africa we have what we call this double burden of disease, where on the one side we know that there are some people who can't afford to buy enough food, so they're actually malnourished and they have a deficiency in terms of nutrition. Yet on the other side of the scale, excuse the pun, you get an over and abundance. We have very easy access to food, and so we see that people are eating not only the wrong stuff, but too much of the wrong stuff. And I think the causes for increased weight and obesity, and of course that links to poor health, is that people sometimes don't know what is healthy eating, because there's a lot of perhaps conflicting information. There's also, it's so easy to get your hands on really unhealthy food. We know that at every street corner there's a drive-through, whereas you don't get a vegetable or fruit or smoothie drive-through. So you've got to go sometimes out of your way a bit to try and eat healthier. But of course the rewards are really worthwhile in terms of doing that.
So do you suggest that companies remove all vending machines from their offices?
Do you know what I suggest? Is that vending machines not only have the unhealthy choices, but they also include health choices. So when somebody decides to go to a vending machine, for instance, they can feel empowered. Perhaps instead of grabbing the chocolate and crisps, they can grab a packet of trail mix or nuts, maybe have a fruit juice or a water instead of a sugared cold drink. I think it's important to be balanced, but I think organizations have the responsibility to their staff to look at the environment, so to look at things like vending machines. I've done a lot of work with canteens where we've revised the menu, and no, we don't take away the hamburger and chips, but we do make the salad sexy. So when people come into the canteen, it's appealing to actually want to go for the health choice.
So from what you're saying, it's not all doom and gloom. Something can be done.
Absolutely. There's a lot that can be done. And it's the small things, actually, that businesses do that make all the difference. Like, for instance, just having a water cooler or a water fountain next to every coffee machine, instead of just providing staff with easy access to coffee. And that's just a small step towards helping staff, encouraging them to perhaps drink more water, which we know helps them have more energy, less headaches, so they can actually perform better when they're on the job.